Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Pretorius. This is part 28 of the 1771 live stream of Owen Benjamin and Curtis Stone.
If his micro weens could talk, they would all say, I'm Squirticus. It's like, I am Squirticus. I am Squirticus. I am Squirticus. All right. You never know what an actual alpha never says. I am the alpha. He goes, you're not an alpha, bitch. I go, dude, literally, I know to a fault I'm not an alpha. I had to learn how to manage people, you dumb fuck. Ask Codsworth. I used to always be like, dude, ask Fox. I used to always be like, what's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? I'm like, and people are like, look at Owen Benjamin. He used to say Crowder was his alpha. Yes, it's not shameful for me. I used to be like, you're a team leader. I'm like, dude, I'm like a military guy. I'm like.
He didn't just say Crowder was his alpha. He said Crowder was my alpha and I loved it. And then whenever you combine that with what he says about Crowder today, that's whenever you're like, TL,
team leader, what's the plan? And Vox, that's why, I mean, one reason we work so well together is he's a Sigma. He's dominant enough where it's cool. Like, I'm into dominant guys. I like strong males. But he also doesn't give a fuck, which is a great combo. I work really well with Sigmas. We're two Bravos planning. Yeah, and I'm like a higher ranking Bravo to Codsworth, but he's also a Bravo. Like, he's a Bravo, I'm a Bravo, but I'm higher ranking. I have to figure out plans to give Codsworth. He loves plans, just like me. Like, there's no shame in it. Like, if people are like, oh, Codsworth's your bitch. He just does what you say. Codsworth's like, yes. And I'm like, yeah, he's not my bitch. Like, I don't disrespect him. Like, I don't think it's weak.
This is problematic behavior right now because there are so many times whenever he is publicly disrespecting Coddington. And then here he's going to say, I don't disrespect Coddington. I don't call him a dirtbag or a degenerate. I don't call him names. That's disrespect. What is respect? If how he treats Coddington publicly is not disrespect, then what is respect?
He follows orders. It's awesome. Like, I like orders. Like, when I was working with Vince Vaughn and I had a strong alpha that could literally give me great orders that I respected, I was in fucking heaven. Like, the Gamma's like, oh, Vince Vaughn thinks he's the real king, the secret boy. I'm like, yes, finally someone that's stronger than me that I get to fucking follow. I love it. Imagine getting mad at a soldier for carrying out an operation. Dude, I'm like, Codsworth, find me a clip of Squirticus and
here recently, whenever, what is it? Man, I can't think of the show that he was talking about. But I just recently came across a clip of another comedian talking about this show. So I think that Pete Holmes is a comedian that was talking about, I can't remember, the Succession or something. Anyways, whenever he said that show was stealing his song, that's how he told it, was that show, whoever is coming up with the music stole my song. And then whenever the facts came out, it was he took somebody else's song, a famous piece of somebody else's music, threw a hip-hop beat on it years ago, and then said it was his song. And then got upset that somebody else did something similar to that, because he was like, nobody knows that music. It was by Bach. Nobody knows that music. It was me. I created it. And then he said, hey, Coddington, find that video. And they couldn't find it. Why? Because I don't think it ever existed. Owen is the thief of intellectual property, of ideas, gives zero credit where it's due. That's just his MO. And so this entire, what was it, the last 2 hours and 11 minutes of him saying, give glory to God, and that's what I do, and I give credit where credit's due. No, he doesn't. You can just look at his what he does, and it's just not true.
And George, he's like, yes, he loves when I have plans. I'm the same fucking way. I don't naturally think I want to dominate this group and I have all these plans. I promise I have.
Yes, he does. That's why he literally almost broke his neck trying to get away from his own words. His head went back and forth, side to side, because he was trying to get away from his own words. I don't try to dominate this group. That's exactly what he does.
I had to learn. And I think it's actually one of the shining benefits of Bertaria is it's not ruled by an alpha. You're never going to run into me trying to bang you Because alphas have a hard time with promiscuity. They just do. It's now like a lot of alphas.
So just because I don't want to have intercourse with you, think about how gross that really is. His virtue signal is, hey, you know that I'm okay because I don't want to bone you. How perverted is he that is, you know how I'm a good person is because I don't want to have sex with you. That's how you know that you should trust me.
Just can't help but fuck. I don't have that problem. The only time I was really promiscuous was when I was single or coming out of Hollywood or, first realizing that I love monogamy, like with Amy, there was a time, I get it. But I don't have that problem where I look out at a field and think, I will fuck them all.
What?
I was single or coming out of Hollywood or, first realizing that I love monogamy.
The only time that he was actually promiscuous is whenever he was first learning that he liked monogamy with Amy. I'm kind of slow sometimes. In the words of Alex Jones, I'm kind of retarded. And so I don't really know that is he saying what I think he's saying? Is that whenever him and Amy first got together, whenever he first realized that he liked monogamy is whenever he was promiscuous? Or is he saying that's whenever he stopped? Whenever he got with Amy, he realized that he liked monogamy.
Like with Amy, there was a time, I get it. But I don't have that problem where I look out at a field and think, I will fuck them all. Literally not in me, which is great for the group. Alphas have that. A lot of them are like...
Which is great for the group. You know what? All right, I agree. There's nothing inside of me that disagrees with that. It is a good thing that it is good for the group that Owen does not look out into the field of people thinking, I want to bang all of them.
The seed will be spread. Everyone will have my babe. Also, I don't micromanage, which leads to so much creation in this community. Another thing about alphas is they're always controlling. They're like, well, you do this, you do this. I'm always like, bring what you are. And I'm so fortunate that this community is awesome.
Bring what you are. The saying is come as you are. But he can't ever get away from bring me something. So bring what you are.
It just keeps getting better. But actual alphas typically are like, you do that, and you follow this. And I've had to learn to do that. I swear to God, I've had to learn to do that. Being an alpha sounds exhausting. Squirticus wants to be an alpha. He's a gamma. And so he thinks that alpha is like a compliment. Like, that means you're better. The last fucking thing I want in the world was to be an alpha. I don't want to.
My opinion on this, because I think everybody knows that Owen wants to be alpha. He claims to be beta, but that's just kind of him giving himself room for manipulation. But he wants to be alpha. That's why it's so obvious that he wants to be alpha to me. Is because I'm the king of Bertaria. I'm a cult leader, blah, blah, blah. That's what it is.
Be fucking everybody and having to manage that. I don't want everyone to look at me like, what's the plan, chief? I'm like, I don't fucking know. What do you...
So literally just over 2 hours into this spiral fest is whenever he claims that he's good because he doesn't want to have sex with everyone. And has sworn to God at least a half a dozen times already.
I'm doing my thing. He has the plan. And so I'm fortunate to have people in my life that are more like Sigma-ish, which can operate like alpha, but not try to dominate the community. Like Vox. I think Buzz Killington's a Sigma. I think a lot of these guys, they're really good at being alpha, but they aren't though. They they're out. They're not really, they're not like, the bears are mine. They're they do their own thing. They're kind of they have their own thing. They're kind of weird, but they're awesome at management and doing shit. I get along fucking awesome with Sigmas, Bravos, Deltas. Some Omegas are some of my favorite people, but they can be a handful sometimes. And Gammas hate me. Being alpha would be my personal... Dude, that's what Squirticus doesn't know. He goes, you are not the alpha. I'm like, no shit. I am technically the alpha of Bertaria.
He just can't. It's just talking in circles, man. Owen says so many words. I saw a clip of... I used to be... fans of Good Mythical Morning. And since then, I've unsubscribed just because. But they are pushed by the algorithm of YouTube. And so I'd be lying if I said that they're not entertaining or whatever. So whenever I come across some of their videos, I do sit down and watch them. But the shorts, I saw a short here recently. If you're unfamiliar, it's two guys, Rhett and Link. Well, there was a little short video. It was Rhett, Link, and Link's dad. First time I've ever seen Link's dad. He seems like a very lovely fella. And I'm not being sarcastic whenever I say that. But Rhett talks to Link's dad, and he says, "You like tomato sandwiches?" He's like, "Yep, I do." And Link goes on this 30-second little spiel of why tomato sandwiches are gross. And his dad looks at him. He said, "You said so many words for nothing just to say that you don't like tomato sandwiches." It's the same thing with him. He says so many words and doesn't say anything. He just spent the last 15 minutes saying how alpha is bad, he's not alpha, whatever, just to say, I am alpha.
Hate me. Being alpha would be my personal hell. Dude, that's what Squirticus doesn't know. He goes, "You are not the alpha." I'm like, no shit. Like, I am
That guy said being alpha would be my personal hell, and it's funny that triggered the thought for Owen to say this.
technically the alpha of Bertaria. But it's like, it's exhausting. Like
it just doesn't make any sense. He talks around in circles. His words don't mean anything. The word no is very helpful when negotiating or whenever listening to Owen. Just no. This is the Texas Go Radio Show, and I'm your host, Pretorius. As always, till next time.